From trillion-dollar pay packages,
How would you even spend that?
to the founder of Oracle paying himself $1 a year, these are the 10 most grossly overpaid CEOs of all time. The person at the very end is not who you'd expect it to be.
I'm a wild card to this. No telling what I might do. Fine, we'll be good-ish.
Okay. Imagine this. You are now the CEO of Starbucks. Your annual compensation is $95.8 million a year. All you need to do is sell shitty black coffee. Oh, and pay the baristas $7.25 an hour. That part is essential.
Starbucks coffee, it's trash.
Starbucks, not worth the money.
But what if the barista wanted to make what you make? How long would that take them? 6,666 years. That is 83 lifetimes. Are you overpaid? Well, you aren't, because you aren't the CEO of Starbucks. But that $96 million was Brian Nichols' compensation in 2024. But good compensation wasn't enough for Brian. At a time when Starbucks was cracking down on remote work, forcing employees to return to office, guess what Brian was doing? Brian didn't want to return to Seattle. No. Brian wanted to build a 4,624 square foot office with luxury furnishings in Newport Beach. Gothic white oak flooring, polished concrete, elegant lighting, floor-to-ceiling windows, and an ocean view. Don't forget the $14,000 espresso machine at a coffee company. All just 5 minutes away from his home.
I get a grande dragon fruit refresher blended with strawberry. Sorry, it's kind of a complicated one.
We're going to talk about 9 more insanely overpaid CEOs, from grocery stores to ticket sales, all leading up to the finale at the end. One man, $1 trillion. You've heard the stat. Average CEO pay is 344 times the pay of a typical American worker. S&P 500 CEOs had a median pay of $10.5 million. But how did it all begin? When and why did CEOs start receiving shit tons of cash in bonuses? A 1911 report on U.S. Steel for shareholders and investors by Dow Jones & Co. estimated that the average yearly wage per U.S. Steel employee in 1903 was $720. The CEO's salary was estimated to be $100,000 in 1903, 138 times the yearly earnings of their average employee. But the idea of CEOs making hundreds of times more than their average worker isn't new. What's changed is how fast that gap exploded. From the 1930s through the 1960s, CEO pay barely moved. Corporate America still operated under the post-depression restraint, wartime wage controls, and sky-high marginal tax rates. This essentially made executive compensation that was sky-high pointless. In 1965, the average CEO to worker pay sat around 20-1, but by the 1980s, that number had climbed to 59-1, and by the early 2000s, that mythical 344-1. So what happened? Reaganomics. The marginal tax rate fell from 70% to 28%. Stock-based compensation exploded, and a new culture of shareholder value turned CEOs from managers into mini gods of capital.
The real question is this: was all this legal? Absolutely fucking not. But we were making more money than we knew what to do with.
And in 1982, the SEC quietly passed Rule 10b-18, legalizing large-scale stock buybacks for the first time in history. That single rule effectively tied CEO pay to stock prices, and corporate America never looked back. I mean, look at Delta. During the pandemic, they were begging for a bailout. Oh, we can't succeed. We don't have any money. No one's traveling anymore. But just a couple years earlier, they were doing massive stock buybacks. And if you don't understand what a stock buyback is, it's essentially a company buying their own stock back from the free market. This decreases the number of available shares, increasing the price. From that moment on, executive compensation became less about running a company and, well, more about juicing that sweet stock price by any means necessary.
I'm an emotional guy. For me, it's super fun. I mean, I love seeing my picture everywhere. Are there pictures that have been out there that I am embarrassed about? Not particularly. I don't get embarrassed easily. I mean, look at me.
Layoffs, outsourcing, short-term decision-making. If Wall Street liked it, CEOs got richer, shareholders got richer, but employees suffered. By the 1990s, nearly 2/3 of CEO pay came from stock options and bonuses rather than salary. I'd imagine this is even worse today. The new religion of capitalism was born. Maximize shareholder value at any cost. This is the late-stage capitalism everyone hates. It's greed, it's wealth hoarding, it's not fair. But this problem is way worse than you might think.
Your profit on a mere $6,000 investment would be upwards of $60,000.
Take David Zaslav, CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery. He makes $247 million a year. The average American worker earns $58,000 a year. David Zaslav makes that every 123 minutes, and it only takes 1 minute to subscribe. Every time you take a long lunch, David just earned your entire salary. Even while his company stock continues to suffer, it's been falling off a cliff. Last year, Warner's stock dropped 60%, but David Zaslav's bonus went up. He cut costs, laid off thousands, canceled completed films like Batgirl, and gutted HBO Max to save just a few pennies. Meanwhile, he was rewarded as if he invented cinema itself. It's not even compensation at this point. It's robbery in broad daylight. But he's not alone. Michael Rapino of Live Nation, the company that owns everyone's favorite company, Ticketmaster. He made $139 million in a single year. Michael is the guy responsible for charging you $48 in processing fees to see Taylor Swift.
Why is it standard for Live Nation to take a 20% commission on our merchandise sales while we never receive a cent of their ancillary revenues like concessions, alcohol, and parking?
He is the same Apple that invented the dynamic pricing model. Oh, tickets are $100. Oh, wait. Tickets are $500. Okay, wait. Tickets are $5,000. The same company that the DOJ sued for being a monopoly. But hey, Michael can now afford front row seats to Congress.
We're on Live, so think of us as Disneyland for Live.
Safra Catz at Oracle, one of the few women on this list, made $138 million last year. Oracle stock has done well. It's hard to say she doesn't deserve her compensation when you add, billions of dollars to shareholder value overnight, but was she doing it alone? Were those billions the sole result of her efforts? Could not another mediocre CEO paid 1/10 of that salary not done the exact same thing? It's impossible to say. Don't get it confused. $5.3 million is not being deposited into her bank account on a bi-weekly basis. That is how you get paid. That is how the middle class gets paid. But that is not how the rich get paid. Most of her pay comes from options and performance bonuses tied to stock buybacks that she approved herself. It's like paying yourself for making your own paycheck just a little bit bigger.
Early growth.
Press?
Yeah, press, yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm in quiet period, so I'm sorry.
I won't ask any.
You ever wonder what you would do with that kind of money? Be honest. You say you wouldn't be greedy, that you'd give it all away, build schools, help people. But is that not what every single one of these billionaires and ultra wealthy has said too?
Facebook CEO says in her honor he's donating 99% of his Facebook shares. Kantrowitz points out not all of Zuck's money is going to charity. Some of it is going to a business in his name. Christopher Nickel adding, I had a feeling there was a catch.
Has not every single billionaire pledged to give away or donate their entire wealth? Yet all of them are still worth tens, if not hundreds of billions of dollars.
And if you got 99% of your money, you'd still be a multi-billionaire.
No. And if you get rid of 99%, I'd have 1.3 billion.
I'm so sorry.
If you're waiting for someone to give it all away, keep waiting. Google CEO, proud owner of the platform I'm coming to you on, Sundar Pichai, pulled in $225 million in 2022. The man who tells the world to do the right thing and don't be evil made more than 1,000 engineers combined. Right after that, Google announced massive layoffs. An engineer I know logged into work only to find out they couldn't log in. They lost access. No notice, just gone. Peter Zaffino at AIG took home $75 million. He works in the insurance scam industry. They helped take down the stock market in 2008. But apparently, if you crash the economy once, you get a lifetime supply of stock grants and an $85 billion loan from the US government. In 2024, while AIG bragged about cost-cutting and discipline, he was probably building a personal art collection and dumping company cash on corporate jet travel and leadership retreats in the Caribbean. David Gokeller at Western Digital, $32 million. He laid off 10% of his staff this year. After the layoffs, they announced $1.2 billion in stock buybacks. But hey, buddy, you can't work here anymore, but at least our stock price is up 135% in the last year. You know, there was a time when laying off people while the company was doing well was a really morally wrong thing to do. Now, if Mark Zuckerberg thinks the share price will go up 5% by laying off thousands of people while they're richer than ever, they've got no problem with that. Do you have an American Express Platinum card? This is not an ad. If you do, you're helping pay Steven's $35.6 million salary. His slogan might as well be, "Don't leave home without my bonus." Amex has quietly become one of the most elitist brands on planet Earth. His new Centurion Club in New York has a $10,000 initiation fee and an invite-only guest list for billionaires and celebrities. Billionaires and celebrities brings us to one man. His name, Jeffrey Bezos. All roads lead to Jeffrey Bezos, former CEO of Earth's best employer, Amazon. Jeff owns some of the most obscene things I have ever seen. He has the world's biggest clock, a dog that does his laundry that he named Spot for some reason. That dog Spot only set him back 75,000 bones. But he's also building a $500 million super yacht so large it needs its own support yacht, which also, for some reason, has its own helipad. The ship is called Koru. It's a Maori word for new beginnings, but the only new beginning it represents is the one where billionaires stop pretending to care about everyone else. Jeff also has the most expensive private security in the world. He installed military-grade, bulletproof glass in his office and has 8 bodyguards following him around at all times. Meanwhile, his warehouse workers are peeing in bottles to meet their quotas.
Workers are afraid to go to the bathroom because they don't want to get in trouble for taking a break.
But Jeff did not stop with being Earth's best employer. No. He wanted to go even further. He wanted to be space's best employer. And that's why Jeff started Blue Origin. Blue Origin's New Glenn costs $68 million per launch. It's burning billions. But how did he afford this while only paying himself $80,000 a year while working at Amazon? I mean, that's really generous for the CEO of a $1 trillion company to only make $80K. I mean, $80K is a decent salary, you know, don't get me wrong. I mean, you can live nice on $80K. Oh, he owned 20% of that company. Oh, I see. 20% of a $1 trillion company. I'm not going to do the math for you, but I have certified and verified it is a lot of money. When Jeff decided to step down as CEO, Andy Jassy filled his place. They decided to pay him a little bit more than Jeff's measly $80K. Only $250 million a year. He could buy 116,000 cups of your shitty black coffee every single day. Sergey Brin is the co-founder of Google. He purchased a 42-room, 30,000 square foot, $49 million mega mansion in Alpine, New Jersey, but he pays himself a salary of $1 a year. In fact, he's not the only one that does this. Larry Ellison, former CEO and founder of Oracle, bought the 6th largest island of Hawaii for $300 million. One of the most valuable private islands in the entire world, but he also only pays himself a salary of $1 a year. CEO of Whole Foods, same thing, $1 a year.
Google, Oracle, Capital One, Hewlett-Packard, Kinder Morgan, Duke Energy, Fossil, and Urban
all have
Outfitters
CEOs with a salary of $1
or less.
Here's the catch. Larry owns $90 million in stock options. Sergey Brin owns millions of shares of Google. Whole Foods, all stock options. You see, this is the rub. You avoid paying that top income tax bracket by receiving stock options. If you hold your stock options for longer than a year, you only pay half the tax you would ordinarily pay. You pay capital gains tax instead of income tax.
If you're trying to build wealth, you have an obligation to pay as little tax as possible. Do it legally.
But let's talk about the final frontier. No, not space. The #1 most overpaid CEO of them all. I will pause here for you to comment down below who you think it is. Okay, done? You did it, didn't you? It's fucking Elon Musk. Elon doesn't just top the list, he obliterates it. If you made $100,000 a year since the birth of Jesus Christ himself 2,000 years ago, you still wouldn't match. His 2018 Tesla compensation package was worth nearly $56 billion. Yes, billion, with a B. It was the largest pay deal in corporate history. I will say closely tied to performance milestones that were so outrageous and outlandish, they sounded impossible, but somehow Elon did it. And in 2021, a Delaware judge called the package unfathomable, ruling it an unfair windfall. It made Elon richer than the GDP of some countries. But Tesla's board decided to say, hold my fucking beer, and rip the roof off the building. They have already compensated CEO Elon Musk more than the company earned through its entire existence. But now they are offering Elon Musk a brand new pay package worth up to $1 trillion. This has never been done before.
The real issues are that we are increasingly living in an oligarchic society where a handful of billionaires who are incredibly greedy, these are not nice guys, want it all.
And in fairness, he has also made shareholders richer than ever before. Tesla may be a meme stock, but shares have rose thousands of percentage points. And at this point, you might think CEO pay has become less about a reward for innovation and more of a scoreboard for greed. And if you're thinking that, you're probably right. But is it that simple? I used to believe that CEOs were insane for getting paid as much as they did. But recently, in our current system, it starts to make a little bit of sense, right? They call it capitalism and not laborism for a reason. Stay with me. In a capitalistic society, you get paid in accordance to how important the decisions you make are. Think of the barista again. All they do is serve coffee. If they completely fail at doing their job all day, what is lost? Maybe a few $100s? The importance of their decisions and their actions is tuned to, I don't know, 2 Benjamins? But take someone in a more senior position. Let me think. Let's take my current job. I'm an engineering manager at a software company. The total compensation of my team I manage is in terms of millions of dollars. But the decisions that I make for my company will positively or negatively impact the company to the tune of millions of dollars. In a multi-billion-dollar corporation, I don't make decisions that are that large in the grand scheme of things. But back to Starbucks. The decisions Brian Nichols makes as CEO affect a $97.53 billion organization at the time of recording this video. He takes home less than 1% of the assets he manages. When the decisions you make affect companies to the tune of billions, you make to the tune of millions. Here, CEO pay makes a little bit more sense. You can make arguments all day of whether or not that is how it should be, but this is how the world is. And if you want to succeed in the US, you've got to get the fuck over yourself and you've got to start doing things that matter. It's called capitalism, not laborism. But the original purpose of capitalism was to reward value creation, not value extraction.
Capitalism is unstable. Capitalism is unequal. And capitalism is fundamentally undemocratic.
And unfortunately, most modern CEOs got rich not by building better products anymore, but by shrinking payrolls, raising prices, and buying back stock to inflate their own bonuses. We've turned leadership into leverage. CEOs don't work for the company anymore. The company works for the CEO. It's legal. And the real truth is, the system isn't broken. It's functioning exactly as it was designed. Quick shout out and thank you to my channel member, John W. If you haven't already, hit that join, subscribe plus button down below. If you're interested in watching something new, click the video on screen now to watch exactly why Gen Z hates Donald Trump. See you in the next one.